What's up, guys? It's Brahma Gandhi, back with some more Choices That Matter, and the sun went out. And, in the last video, what did we do in the last video? Okay, well, we got chased by a crazy biker. I believe in the last video I was knocked out by the same biker. But, Sharon was able to kind of like fight off the biker until the clerk turned on the security lights. We got a call from Dolores, and yeah, she has another assignment for us. So now I gotta think about what I'm gonna do. So let's get right back into it. Sharon and I stared at each other for a moment while I tried to think. Dolores hadn't even told me what was in Indonesia. Okay, we were going to Indonesia. Let alone why I was going there. I had been fairly resistant to leaving Australia, but still. Sharon's phone started ringing. Hang on. She pulled it out of her pocket. It's Damien. I'll just take this quickly. She moved away for privacy, and I sat down working through my options in my own head. Teacher, do you recall I linked myself with Mr. Damien's emoticon device? Oh yeah, he did. I remember that now. I frowned, looking down at Modi's little face. Yes, Modi, why is that important now? Mr. Damien's emoticon is sending a distress signal. What? I believe Mr. Damien could be in danger, teacher. What? Huh? Alarm fizzed through me. Oh no. Sharon walked back with a confused look on her face. He hung up on me, she whined. We need to get over there, now, I urged, pulling her along by her arm. What? Why? I'm gonna just tell her straight up, he's in danger. Modi picked up a distress signal. Sharon's eyes widened. We'll take the tram on the next street over, she said, grabbing my arm and dragging me with her at lightning speed. It'll be faster than getting back to the car. Indeed it was. Soon the imposing building came into sight. I followed Sharon closely as we entered the building. She walked straight to the counter and grabbed the attendant's attention. Oh no, Sharon. You need to slow down a little bit. You need to slow down. Okay? You need to slow down. Call security, she demanded. There's a man upstairs being attacked. Quietly, I slipped away while the attendant sputtered in response. As I hit the button to call the elevator, the building's alarm system started ringing. Sharon joined me. Let's get up there. Oh, God. Oh no. The elevator opened and a man in a black coat, hat drawn low, pushed past me. That's gotta be him. I bet it's him. Sharon and I rode the elevator and made it to the apartment just after security did. I glanced in the room. The place was tossed and Damien was passed out on the floor. I pulled Sharon back. What's in there? She asked, fear in her eyes. There's been an attack. We were right to come straight here. Just tell her. There's been an attack. Sharon and I stayed out of the way. It was a relief when I heard Damien scream because it meant that he was alive. When I looked at Sharon, I could see that she was relieved too. Ambulance officers arrived soon after and put him on a gurney. Oh my god. What? What the heck? It was the guy in the coat. Come on. Noticing us, he nodded subtly at us. As the paramedics wheeled in past us, he pressed a USB stick into Sharon's hands. It took us a long time to get back to the car. Do you think it was Victor Santiago? She asked me once we were back on the road. No, I don't think it was him. I answered her uncertainly. He's supposed to be in Japan, but maybe he ordered a hit. I don't know. Well, if they ordered a hit, Damien'd be dead. We walked into the apartment, and Sharon went straight to her room. I busied myself packing my bag. It was time for me to go. Indonesia or otherwise, I had done enough damage here. Sharon came out an hour later. I looked at the USB. She said, "The one from Damien? It says he found something. I forwarded it to you." I nodded grimly at her. "Victor's in Japan," she continued, "and I'm going there. I'm going to track him down." I nodded, understanding. "Etienne is there. I'll give you his details." "Speaking of Mr. Etienne, teacher, he's got a message for you. He has sent you a message." "He's requesting assistance and believes he is in danger." "Oh, hell no, that ain't happening. Not today." "Why didn't you tell me this sooner?" "I don't want to be rude with him. I'm going to say thank you for telling me, Modi. I don't want to be rude." Sharon shifted in the doorway and crossed her arms. "I don't want to stay here," she said honestly. "I don't feel like it's safe. I was thinking that we could go and check on Chrissy." "Sure," I agreed quickly. "You want me to drive?" "Yes, thank you," she murmured, backing away again. "We going to Japan, fuck Indonesia, okay? We're not going to Indonesia." I collected all of my things and waited for Sharon in the hall after cleaning the kitchen. She decided to wash off the day in the shower. Oh, teacher, will you go with Miss Sharon to see Mr. Etienne in Japan? There is also Miss Montague's assignment in Indonesia. Can we do both? No, we can't do both. That's a choice I'm gonna have to make, Modi. You know which one I'm going for. Come on, Modi, you know. I see, teacher. Please inform me when you make up your mind. Sharon reappeared. "I'm okay," she said firmly, her head held high. "I will drive. The hotel is in the middle of the CBD. I handed her the keys gratefully. I very much hated driving. Kind of like me in real life. I don't like driving. When she pulled into the traffic, I tried to relax, but I couldn't. I swallowed and looked out my window, avoiding her eyes. "I'm sorry about your friend, Sharon," I started. "I'm sorry I brought this upon you." "You didn't do anything," Sharon said. "I decided to go and get his help." "You shouldn't." "I don't blame myself," she cut me off. "I blame Victor Santiago." She was unflinching, her hands tight on the wheel. I admired her strength. Instead of asking Modi, I pulled out my phone and composed a message to Dolores. "Dang, you actually are doing something for your own for once. Dang, you got lazy." "What's in Indonesia? I have a lead and a contact in Japan. Advice?" I hit send as Sharon pulled into the hotel. Chrissy's room was nice, not too pricey, yet very comfortable. She had set herself up at the table and was painting when we walked in. She's a painter? What? I passed the time waiting for Dolores by posing for Chrissy while she painted. I'd be up there being like, "Hey, paint me like one of your French models." She was bored as hell in Australia and was contemplating on going back to Peru now that we knew Victor was in Japan. I personally thought it was a good idea. If she was anything like her mother, she'd find herself in trouble sooner or later, no matter what. Yep. Chrissy painted Sharon as well, and when she was done, she laid the paintings out to dry. I complimented Chrissy on her paintings. Smiling, she said I could keep them if I liked since she had no use for them. I accepted. Eventually, Dolores' reply came, and it was short and sweet. Abnormal natural disasters in Indonesia, as well as a report of AWOL satellites washing up the shore. Look for evidence linking to the sun incident. Teacher, that is not the correct use of the acronym AWOL. Should I inform Miss Montague of this? It's close enough to apply to this instant. I'd end up getting a rude text back being like, "What the fuck are you doing correcting me?" Night fell and we were still with Chrissy. Sharon pushed her laptop shut. Done. I'm on a flight tomorrow afternoon. Can you send me Etienne's details? I tossed my phone over to her, which she caught deftly. Have you made up your mind on what you're doing? She asked, and she wrote down the number. Well, on one hand, I said, physically raising one hand and looking at it, we have Japan, which I know is a solid lead, and Etienne has already done some groundwork. And you'll have Mum, Chrissy pointed out. Yes. On the other hand, I raised my other hand, we have Indonesia, which is a lead directly relating to the incidents with quantifiable evidence. But you'll be alone, Sharon concluded. Right. Though that also means if I wanted to cover all bases, I should go to Indonesia and trust you two to gather the intel in Japan. Plus, Dolores would prefer I go to Indonesia. I bet. I wagered. Silence filled the air as I stared at both my hands. Indonesia was the obvious choice in terms of duty. Should I trust my friends to go after a murderer without me in Japan? Oh, good lord. Where are we going, teacher? Okay, I'm about to choose. No, hold on. Okay. I took a long think about this. I decided we're going to join Sharon and Etienne in Japan, okay? Fuck the job. Alright? They're gonna die if I ain't there. Sharon beamed at me, a wide smile on her face. Well, that's decided. Organize your tickets. I need to head back to the apartment and pack a bag. As she walked past me, she offered me her laptop, which I gratefully accepted. I'll get myself a room for tonight as well, I nodded to Chrissy. Get out of your hair. No problem, mate. Take your time. I'm a night owl. She winked and I snickered, believing her. I sent a quick message to Dolores and Etienne, letting them know of my decision. Oh, God, Dolores is gonna kill me. I hoped it was the right decision. Later, while I was sorting through my possessions, which were laid out on my bed, Sharon knocked on the door. I didn't think you were coming back tonight, I frowned as I opened the door. She breezed in and dropped her bag by the second bed. I'll be honest, I didn't really want to stay there alone after everything, so I cleaned up and left the keys behind. She looked over to my bed, currently buried under my possessions. This is it? This is everything you have? What's this? She picked up Professor Soul's cock. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Clues, I hope, but I honestly don't know. She hummed in response, laying back on the bed, fiddling with the cog. I went back to packing. I'll stay with Chrissy tonight, of course, she suddenly added hastily. Dang it! Sharon, you're welcome to stay here with me. Yes! Yes! Sharon blushed and nodded, pleased. I smiled and continued packing. Come on, stay here. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I broke it. Sharon, did you really just break the freaking cog? Did you seriously just... Come on, that's not even mine! Sharon sat up and held out her hands, the cog cradled in them. Only now it was in two pieces. Ugh! How I reached out to it, but she abruptly pulled away. Wait, I didn't. It's a trick box, she marveled. See? What? What? Sitting down next to her, I saw what she meant. The two pieces of the cog fit back together perfectly with a pressure point stopping them from falling apart. What? She fiddled and pulled it apart again, this time pulling out the reflective metal hidden within. It's a key! I exclaimed. Is it for the diary? Yeah, I didn't forget about the diary, bro. I didn't forget about it. I exclaimed, reaching out and taking it from her. What's it to? I have no idea, I mumbled, looking at it closely. Why would the professor hide a key inside the cog? It's for the diary! It's for the diary! Teacher, a key of this size would most likely fit a small object, not a door. Small object. The diary, bro. Come on, the diary. Struck with a thought like lightning, I dashed to the bed and pulled out Soul's diary, sliding the key into the lock. Come on. Come on. Come on. Make that pop sound. Come on. It opened. Yes! Yes, it opened. I whooped and punched my fist in the air. This is good? Sharon asked. This is very good. Well, she urged, what does it say? With a huge grin on my face, I flipped open the diary and started to read. Only to throw it down in disgust. Hold on, didn't you talk about, like, how he wrote things, like, in, like, some kind of dialect you couldn't read or something? And that you were thinking about that Etienne could translate it? The paranoid old coot wrote it all down in code, I whined in frustration. Exactly. Come on, you were talking about how he wrote everything down in code. So you should know that his diary was definitely in code as well. Sharon picked it up and started leafing through its pages with a confused look on her face. Let me get this straight, she murmured. Your friend wrote everything in code, locked it in a diary, and then hid the key in a puzzle box that doesn't look like a puzzle box. Yes, I sighed. He was brilliant, but he had issues. Maybe he had reason to. It's important. It has to be important. If he were to lock it up and write it in code. I had to agree, seeing that Soul was now dead. Teacher, is it possible that Mr. Etienne could read Professor Soul's code? Exactly, that's what I was thinking, bro. I swear. As his father, Professor Soul may have taught it to Mr. Etienne when he was young. We'll get it to him, see what he says. Don't get your hopes up. They were estranged. We'll just see what he says. Yes, teacher. I will look forward to seeing him again. Sharon slumped and fell back onto the bed in the most ungraceful fashion. Well, that was anticlimactic. It doesn't have to be. It could be the answer to everything, I reasoned. Yeah, it probably is, though. Honestly, it probably is. She smiled slightly, her eyes sliding shut. Her soft snores filled the room moments later, and I shifted my laugh. All this excitement was too much for her. I picked up the diary next to her, looking over the pages once more. Tomorrow I'd go to Japan to find more clues. The more I collected, the more I could make sense of the sun temporarily vanishing from the sky. Everything was coming together. This coded diary would be no different. Either Etienne would have the answers, or we'd break the code another way. I was sure of it. Arc 6 completed. Dang, look at that. Look at that. You and 16% of players will be heading to Japan after the events in Australia. 7-3. Later. Look at this. Let's start 7-3 right now. When my feet finally touched solid ground in Tokyo, I breathed a sigh of relief. Travel was not my friend. I spent the hours, so many that I had lost count while crossing time zones, going over all my notes, both the ones I had and the pages Dolores had sent me. Sharon was there to make sure I didn't lose my mind. Knowing that Victor Santiago was in Tokyo was enough motivation for her to bear the long flights, and she was, as always, charming and witty. It was nice to travel with friends for once instead of alone. She walked up next to me, shouldering her bag and passing me mine. Is he here? She asked, looking around. I shrugged. I hadn't seen Etienne yet, though he promised to pick us up from the airport. I checked my phone too, but there weren't any messages from him. He better be okay. Teacher, I could still access the link to Mr. Etienne's phone. He is not here. I frowned, relaying that to Sharon. Her face grew dark. If our favorite outdoorsman isn't here, then where is he? The signal is unclear, but he did email teacher with the hotel he is staying in. take a taxi. Pretty sure taking a taxi would be cheaper. To Sharon's disgust, I led her to the taxi rank and climbed in the back. Why are you disgusted? It's cheap. Tokyo City was exactly as I'd seen on television, at least from my taxi window. Sharon seemed less interested. She was going over Santiago's file again. The taxi dropped us right in front of the hotel. I paid our fare while Sharon grabbed our bags. The inside of the hotel foyer featured bamboo decorations and a traditional water feature. Sharon wrinkled her nose, though I found it oddly charming. The staff bowed to us on the way to the front desk. They were neatly dressed and respectful. Etienne had chosen a nice hotel. Yet, he was nowhere in sight. No, don't tell me he's being hurt right now. The gentleman at the front desk greeted us happily and welcomed us in English. Okay, he knows that we speak English already. Good. We're here to see Etienne's soul. Could you call his room, please? Nah, we gonna. He clacked away at the keyboard before looking back at us apologetically. There is no one here by that name. Are you sure? Certainly, everything is on file, he responded tersely, as if slightly offended that I would ask. He is in the building, teacher, or at least his phone is. I'm unable to narrow down any further. I showed Sharon Modi's words and she nodded. Well, we'll take a twin room, mate, she said, nudging me to pay. Somewhere with a view. Okay, I'll pay. Fine. He snapped his fingers and a younger teen appeared by my elbow, taking our bags and bowing. The gentleman took a payment and handed the teen the keys, telling us that he'd lead us to the right room. Thank you, Sharon said sweetly, flipping her hair. Flirt, I muttered under my breath. She elbowed me subtly. The room was compact, but just as she requested, it had a beautiful view. I tried calling Mr. Etienne, teacher. He is not picking up. Wait! Oh, damn it. I just noticed something right before I clicked off. Alright, we'll probably see it the next time I click and have Modi pop up. Modi had spoken aloud and Sharon laid down on one of the twin beds, hands behind her head. What's the plan to find him? No, we do not wait. Snoop, this hotel is big, but staff always gossip. We'll find him. We'll find him. We're not gonna wait. Sharon rolled over and shut her eyes. I envied her ability to sleep just about anywhere. I closed the curtains and began unpacking my bags, getting ready to wash what needed washing. I also pulled out Sharon's laptop and booted it up. On the screen was Santiago's file. If Etienne was in danger, chances were that it was because of Santiago. Better not have touched him. Look. He automatically updated again. He was at 0.311, now he's at 0.459. Stop updating, please. Stop it. Tell me when you update. Are you worried about Mr. Etienne, teacher? I spoke quietly so Sharon wasn't disturbed. There's no point in worrying until we know what's happening. I am worried, teacher. I am quite fond of Mr. Etienne. I know you are. To be honest, so am I. He reminds me a lot of me. You don't feel emotions, Modi. I don't want to be rude. That's kind of insensitive. So I'm just gonna say, to be honest, so am I. I'm just gonna say that. Don't worry, teacher. I'm sure Mr. Etienne's all right. I don't think he is. Honestly, I don't think he is. I picked up the diary from the bed and started going through it again. I'd looked at it several times since Sharon had opened it in Australia, but I couldn't get anything useful out of it. Etienne could be the key. If Modi was right and Soul had him trained as a child, then he'd already know how to decode the diary. Exactly. I just hope that we can find him. We'll find him, okay? We will. I closed Dolores' file on the laptop and launched a file browser instead. Plugging Modi into the USB slot, it took a moment for it to sync with the system. What would you like me to do, teacher? I would like for you to stop auto-updating. I need you to get to the into the hotel CCTV system, I murmured, turning the pages of the diary. That's illegal, teacher. Well, it was illegal to change the files for the police back in Peru, but that didn't stop you. Okay, alright, it's about time for me to end this video, so we're gonna say it's okay because it's for Etienne, Modi. We're gonna say that. Now, I'm gonna call this the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and bye.